And we're moving on to Lagos. Lagos was everybody, all eyes pretty much on Lagos. And somehow described it as almost like a landslide result because it was 762 plus. And so that's what you call a landslide. And people were really worried about the hurricane Obi again. They felt that the Obi hurricane was going to consume the votes in Lagos. What do you think happened, Liz? Especially because there were pockets of disruptions, intimidation across board. And many also said that people put focus as if it was only Lagos that there were disruption and intimidation, but intimidation was across the nation. Yes. However, all social media kept saying, oh, Lagos, Lagos, Lagos. What are your own thoughts on what happened in Lagos on Saturday?
First and foremost, violence occurred in many parts of our country. Yes. See, the violence that happened in some states, even in the north, was greater than what we had in Lagos. Yes. But they always focus on Lagos. It's Lagos that they are talking about. I saw a video shot in the southeast where a woman was saying, they started shooting us, so they don't want us to vote. The video went viral, and it was in the southeast. Look at what happened in Ebonyi. They attacked the polling station, seized beavers machines, and set the beavers machines as well as other ballot materials ablaze. Ivy Kano, our reporter, even covered it. You see the ballot materials being burnt in Ebonyi. But people will hardly talk about it. It's Lagos that they are talking about, you know. the Lagos, as much as Lagos has been good to many of its inhabitants, many people here are ungrateful to the city of Lagos. All they want to talk about Lagos is negativity all the time. Give the impression that this is the worst place to live in. But that's where they are making their living. And a good number of them are comfortable. But all they can do is just badmouth the city of Lagos. So I'm not surprised that on social media especially, it is Lagos and Rivers that they are talking about. Of course, that is deliberate. When you see people focusing on just two states, look at Kebbi, for example. They are going to have, what's it called, a supplementary election. Because a lot of elections were cancelled in many polling units. So the level of carnage there in Kebbi, we didn't see here in Lagos. But how come they are not talking about it?
But,
you know, so the focus is usually Lagos, 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 Lagos. No one is saying that it makes sense to go and stop people from voting. It's irresponsible, it's barbaric to stop people from voting. But do not give the feeling that it is only here that is happening. Even in Cross Rivers, the people were attacked. These facts are there. But to give the impression that it's only two states, Rivers and Lagos. And I said something recently. I said, okay, even if you took away the entire Southwest votes and the entire Rivers votes, Asiwaju will still win the election because he will still score over 7 million votes. And neither Atiku nor Obi got up to 7 million votes. So take away the entire Southwest votes. So this is somebody has won the election. Well, there's so much bad blood, so much effort to show the election as the worst.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to say this in pidgin. They say, person way that they look, no, they look. So if you're a masquerade and you're performing and you're dancing and all eyes are on you, you wouldn't stop to start looking at your audience. You will be performing. Now, we know that in Lagos State, there are always eyes. This is like the economic stronghold of the country as a whole. And people would always look. People would always pay attention, especially to what happens in Lagos, because it's the center of excellence. Lagos is a pace setter in so many things. And it should also be a pace setter in the elections. And that's why people will look and talk about Lagos. But what I saw, you know, was the violence that we talked about, which was largely spread all across social media. And in your view, for me personally, I expected the governorship aspirant, governor-elect, whether incumbents or otherwise, to have spoken up. Maybe that would have calmed the people who felt they could take laws into their own hands. But it now seemed like everybody just kept mum and we're focusing on just waiting for the results. What do you think about the governor not saying something about the violence?
The violence that took place during the election?
During the elections.
I can't speak for him. For me, I condemn violence wherever it happens. I think that there was so much bad blood going into the Lagos election.
Too much.
People were angry. And people
on both sides.
On both sides, because of all the rubbish about Lagos being no man's land and all that. And look, for a lot of people, they didn't even need extra motivation to come out and vote.
Yes.
Those who were angry, who did not come out to vote during the presidential election, they came out. Even people within the APC who were unhappy with their party and the way they've been treated, they came out because of that feeling that, they are saying Lagos is no man's land, though. Is this how we'll be watching? They came out. In Magodo here, they didn't beat anybody up. Those old men came out and were saying, we are voting. You know, they voted. Nobody beat anybody up. And they voted, and the pattern of voting and the nature of the result was different to the last one. You see, APC made a mistake in the first election. The mobilization was not enough. Even agents were not paid. In some polling units, APC did not have agents in the last election. I'm saying that. And we said, look, you didn't mobilize for this election. Asiwaju came into town, called a meeting, changed the people who were supposed to be custodians of the money. He changed them, got some other people involved,
to handle it.
those who had been doing this with him for years. Yes. And the money, in fact, as early as Thursday, some of the agents has received their money. Right. You think it won't reflect on the way they will work, the way they will mobilize? So the pattern changed. Look at Alimosho. Look at the kind of votes coming from Alimosho. Yes. People, it wasn't as if those people were not there before. But the party behaved like the people did not matter. So now, after losing the election, they reached out to them in Isolo. They reached out to Shame, master mobilizer of people. Reached out to him. He had been angry. Reached out, and they decided to work together. That's what we have seen.
Let me get a few more questions.
And when you say Sanwo-Olu scored, if you add the votes scored by the second and
yes,
the
372,000.
and then you multiply it by 2. Sanwo-Olu still scored higher than them. That's the definition of a landslide. You know?
So I wanted to talk about, because Sanwo-Olu would have won this election whether or not
intimidation.
Thuggery did not happen in Amowo-Odofi, because how many votes are these areas where we're talking about?
Yes.
The Labour Party candidate could not win his own polling unit where he is resident.
And nobody beat anybody.
And there was no fighting there. So the narrative that the whole of Lagos is under fire, that's not the narrative.
But social media, people tend to mislead. They are out to mislead.
I couldn't vote because early morning, Onireke, there were already gunshots. You will see the town boys coming out to say, you people want to take our land. This narrative, they were threatening. By afternoon, my polling unit, everybody hold their head. We ran back in, and there was no voting.
So
the issue has not resolved till now. My neighbors are now rushing to take their cars out of the street. People are guarding their houses. Nobody is sleeping anymore at night. Where are we going exactly? Which is why I wanted to add to it what BC have said. The elections are over. We already know what the results have read. When will the governor address, angry nerves?
True.
We need to calm things down.
I think he said, even in his acceptance speech, he said that he said, let's come together
and work together.
But I would also want violence in Lagos. He said all of
so I would also want a particular direct address to the people in Abule Osun, Irede community, Onireke, all the way into Ojo, where this was high. Husbands and wives are fighting right now that are married intra-tribal marriages. Yeah. People
that's why these tribal narratives are dangerous.
Dangerous.
Yes. For me, when I was a young man growing up in Kano, I had girlfriends who were Igbo. And in fact, I could say if I had not been transferred to Lagos, maybe I would have married an Igbo woman. You know? So people have intermarried. And then we are spreading hate among ourselves.
Yes.
It makes no sense.
At all.
It makes no sense.
At all.
Election, I've said it before, it's just that people don't listen. There's no reason to endanger your own life because of a politician. The Nigerian politicians are not that responsible
Yes.
for you to want to stake your life on them.
Please say it again, sir. Say it again. Let them hear.
You are blocking yourselves on social media because of a politician. Are you
Causing.
That we still go back and
You
say,
are fighting your wife? You are
Since
fighting your wife?
Since you have even mentioned it, let's talk about the Thuggery. Because just this morning, somebody is cursing and asking tankers parked in Ijegun to follow my car and kill my family.
Jesus.
So if I have a choice, I am a journalist, I wouldn't have posted my choice. But the threats were just up to here. And by nature, as an adult girl, I will post it. Okay, so what do you want to do? So now you come on our pages, you're threatening. It is a choice. You made your choice. Can I make my own?
People don't want other people to.
And you say that is not Thuggery?
Yeah.
And we're only addressing election day violence?
It's cyber Thuggery.
Yeah.
Those abusing people, those who do not think that you have a right to make your choice.
Yeah.
Like when Morayo said, okay, this is the person that I want to support. They make it look like it's unreal. What? Even in the US, we saw even broadcasters publicly say, okay, we are against Trump.
We are
And the CNN fought him from day one.
Yes.
They never left him alone.
Yes.
You know, so, and even newspapers, tabloids in the US, they even, the editorial, they will say, we have endorsed this candidate.
person.
And they expect the people who read them to do the same.
Yeah.
So it's not even strange for journalists to have preferences, political preferences. But to make it look like you are an animal.
It's not allowed here.
Someone say, oh, Jide, we thought you were a man of
Let's talk
integrity.
about
bullying
let's
like
talk
this.
about Governor Sanwo-Olu's speech, because I mean it's important for us to reiterate some of the important things he said. He did say that if you truly love Lagos, he's willing to open his door for those of you that were in the contest with him, even in his government. What he's implying, because that hopefully should douse the tension. That is, I am opening my doors. We all love Lagos. Everything that was done is because we all want this
Some
state to
people
work.
are difficult to placate. The APC primaries that we had, presidential primaries, there are still people who have not forgiven Asiwaju for winning. Despite the fact that I even went to see them one after another.
Yeah.
Some people are difficult to placate, but the job of the government is to calm the tension down. The tension in Lagos is not what we're happy to see. The energy of Lagos, you cannot say that that energy is concentrated on a particular ethnic group.
Yeah.
Everyone has jumped in to make Lagos
Absolutely.
the place, I mean,
It is.
the beautiful place that it is. And we don't need to hate one another. People are behaving, these people, especially our young people, they never play politics in their life. They don't even understand politics.
Yeah.
Why are you abusing people for their choices?
When you were talking about this, I have some young people that work with me, and I was telling them straight that growing up, my father was exiled by the military junta.
Yes.
I didn't see my father because he was in exile, because of the military. I suffered as a child also, where you know that your father was being chased and you're getting crank calls. These are things people go through, but you have no idea. You just assume somebody just woke up tomorrow and say, I want to be president. It's because they've seen the journey. They've been there from the beginning all the way. They understand what is going on. And now they're saying they want to be president. So why is such a big deal? So, I mean, people are different, as we said, and it's important for us to respect people's choices. However, as we are reconciling this state, especially, whether we like it or not, Lagos is a melting pot.
Yes.
We are all here, and we all contribute. Is that it will contribute to the development of the economy of this state.
Yeah.
And it's the truth. How do you think the governor can begin to reconcile? Because if we don't fix it from that top, it will trickle down to schools, to offices, to marriages already,
It's
to
trickling
relationships.
down already.
People are already being fearful of each other, suspecting each other because, oh, you're from this, oh, you're from that. How do you fix it?
You know, the thing is, I don't think the ethnic thing will even break marriages. It's the choices
of the candidates.
Yes. There are people who believe that you'll be or nothing. They don't want you to argue.
Have an opinion.
They don't want to have an opinion.
Don't choose another.
They want everyone to believe that Obi is the best. Where you think that Obi, When you are convinced of this is not the best, then you don't have integrity, you are an animal.
Yeah, you
There's
must
no
not
name that
express
they
it.
won't
You are
call
a
you.
thief.
They abuse you, and curse your children. This is what we are seeing. I don't think any speech by someone
And that's
will make such
I
people
agree.
to change, because it's difficult to explain this course of action. What kind of reasoning is this
agree.
that will make a man turn against his wife because of political choices? Even in the we are just not mature politically. As
Can
a
we
people.
even
Even in the U.S., you see the wife is a Democrat, the
The husband
husband
is
is
a-
a Republican.
Yes.
But they will be joking, they will be exchanging
Can we
banters.
even use the narrative in Lagos, for instance? I have been in the dominated PDP areas. I have lived there since I got married. And I have never seen the APC do anything there that will be recognized. We were falling in the craters on Badagry Expressway before this governor became governor. And one visit to that area, there was, and in fact, the entire intention of Lagos was on that area. But today, they will tell you, Sanwo-Olu he not do anything. At the polling unit, you will see the conversation, like, hate a man, but give him his credit.
No, they
But
will not. They will not.
So what exactly will he say to
And
people
when
like
some
that?
of us give somebody credit, they say we don't have integrity. Oh, we used to think you had integrity. Oh, it's not in your place to give me any form of
Emefiele has
validation.
integrity when farmers
When they were
losing their
standing by
produce.
Emefiele, they are standing
Standing
by
by
an
him.
incompetent CBN
And they had
government. And you thought
Rice
that was
now
right.
from the farm, this is the season when we should be enjoying cheaper rice. We're still paying higher than we
course,
paid
of
because
course.
the farmers have lost.
Let me ask you this question. Go ahead, Bisi, let me let you jump in.
You know, I used to feel that we can speak English however we like, but we are not the ones on the streets that we push for this. You know, we saw this play out where some thugs and, you know, people you call hoodlums took over and said, this is what will happen in this polling station.
Yes.
You know, driving people, flogging. There were videos of
Yes.
them flogging people out of the polling station. How do you think we can begin to communicate to those people? Because they...
Flogging people.
No, not
The thugs.
the thugs. I'm talking about Lagos State
the
now.
local lords instruct.
That feel that
It seems like they are there.
they are there, they are present. We cannot ignore them because even if we understand that it's okay for you to like
The
this
question
party,
to ask is, did they do that in 2019?
Yes.
They
it's
were flogging people and saying
no.
that you must
no,
vote APC.
they didn't.
There's always been Thuggery, but not
But
flogging.
not flogging.
That's why I said, look, the nasty rhetorics that enveloped the political space in the days leading to this election led
Was the
to
cause.
this violence. I mean, we saw election here in 2019.
Yes.
It didn't go like this.
This way.
That people will say you must, if you can't, not ready to vote for
don't
APC,
come out.
Stay at home.
don't come here.
Didn't do that.
It didn't happen.
So they felt that they've been somebody called Loju kind of
Yes.
thing. That was a
That's-
a
I
reaction.
said, that's why I gave the example of
Reactionary.
Magodo here. APC lost in Kosovo here in the last election. But this time around, they came out, even the old men.
In my polling unit, a woman, very old woman, two people were holding her hands. She made
out
sure
to
she
vote.
came out to vote. We didn't see her the last
So
time.
that she will not go
But
and
she
tell her
came
ancestors
out.
that
told
the
them-
land is no
they
longer
told them
Yoruba
that,
land.
look, if you
When
don't
she
come
crossed
to vote,
over.
they will take your
Your
land.
land.
Yes.
So was
And
the
they will remove your
narrative.
traditional rulers. You know, the humiliation. So they
That
didn't
you
want that
remove
to
our
happen.
traditional, you remove the custodian of our culture. In my polling unit, for instance, the gist, I was saying to someone, it's secret ballot for a reason, so that you are
Yours is
protected.
Amuwo Odofin, just to be
Yes, Amuwo Odofin. You know, I vote in Ojo.
Okay.
I live in Amuwo. So the narrative is secret. I mean, sorry, the ballot is secret to protect you. So vote. If you want to watch it, stand and watch it. But the conversations at the polling unit are so provocative. I saw some of the indigents, the way they were cowering into their corners during the presidential elections. I was like, thank God, though, it was safe. But the fear I had played out during the
This
governorship.
governorship, yeah.
So they were voting. People had chairs. People were drinking. They were conversing in different languages. And I just saw all of a sudden, things just changed. The people are now saying, we asked you people not to come out to vote. We cannot lose our land. They have already sold. And so this narrative of the disrespect of the hosts.
I've seen
It's so
some of those
blatant
videos.
in the
You know,
faces.
once you shoot a video and it goes round, people can make their opinion, come with their opinions on that video. there were some videos meant to provoke people.
Talking about provocation, so I have to
Yes.
pause you for that, sir, because I have very little time. Yes, the narrative was there, but there were some provocative tweets, provocative statements that have been made by people that should know better.
Yes.
Yes, things are already tense. But certain people, even within various parties, started saying things. Leaders who should be more educated and exposed, they were hitting things up. So who
That's the
can
nature-
caution them?
That's the nature of the Nigerian politician.
Okay.
The Nigerian politician wants to win. All this talk, I will talk to thugs. The politician finds the talk useful during elections. Some after elections, they are abandoned.
Yeah.
Yes, now.
Truth.
That's how did militancy start in the South?
Southeast.
These were political thugs. How did Boko Haram start? Boko Haram men were people that politicians used as thugs. They used to call them Ekoma boys. They used them as thugs before. Then you abandon them with their weapons in their hand, weapons that you bought for them. Of course, they will turn to criminality. So the politician wants to win by every means possible. That's why some of them will start their talks to go and beat up people, stop them from getting to that place. I've been talking about this for over a week. I said, with beavers in place, elections are much more difficult to rig. So politicians now would rather not allow their opponents
vote at
to
all.
even get to a place where they will vote. So it's a problem that we have. It's a bad one. And it is not limited to Lagos, no matter how some people try to paint it, everywhere.
Let me ask you a trick
happening.
question. So in Lagos, for example, is it possible that if people were allowed to vote without intimidation, that GRV would have won?
It will never have won.
How do you know that?
Is it with Abu?
I know that, see, if they mobilized the way they mobilized this time, they don't have the numbers. And I refer anyone listening to me, or even you, to the prediction I made about 3 days before the election. I said, this election, the pattern of voting will change.
Yeah.
I said it emphatically because I was sure. You still, they simply failed to come out because a lot of them were angry and they were not mobilized. But the moment Asiwaju came into town, he said, you, deputy governor, you and this person, take over. The deputy governor was born into a highly political family.
Yes, yes,
He knows what his father was a leader of the Justice Forum.
yes.
You know, he knows
The people to
the
see.
thing about grassroots politics. And he said,
Then aside from-
handle this mobilization, disbursement of money. Disbursement of money is important. If you do not do it the right way, it will not get to some people. And if it doesn't get to them, they can even work against the party.
Yes.
You know? So let me tell you, the rate of mobilization.
There was no way that anybody else could have won.
No, even if you don't, that's why I gave did they beat people in Magodo here?
Did they beat in Alimosho?
They didn't have to beat people.
People counted their votes. Elections
They
were
didn't have to
peaceful.
beat people.
We have just a few
You
local
didn't have to
governments.
beat people. They don't have to beat people to win. Yes,
You have to wrap
it could now maybe they will win some assembly seats, but
Not
DRV
the
cannot
governorship.
win the election.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's all we can take. Congratulations to